God just activated you. You're not just being led, you're being launched. A holy awakening, a divine activation. Hello and welcome, dear friend. Take a deep breath. You've been sensing something, haven't you? Not confusion, but tension. Not chaos, but a pull. A strange mixture of stillness and stirring. Peaceful on the surface, but restless underneath. Seen, yet still waiting. Settled, but somehow unshaken. There's a reason. This isn't disorientation. It's divine alignment. You've been asking why you feel like you're standing on the edge of something unseen. Like you're waiting for the ground to move, the door to open, the signal to flash. And it hasn't made sense, because everything around you feels almost normal. But you know, deep down, something has shifted. The reason nothing has moved yet is because you're not meant to walk into this next season. You're meant to be ignited into it. This is not a gentle transition. This is activation. Heaven is not guiding you by breadcrumbs anymore. It's about to launch you by fire. You're not in the waiting room. You're in the final moments before deployment. The silence has been sacred, not empty. God has not been absent. He has been preparing, refining, and readying you in ways that eyes couldn't see. You are not just called to be seen. You're called to be used. Not in the way this world uses people, drains them, and leaves them hollow, but in the way heaven uses vessels, polished, sanctified, equipped for glory. Heaven doesn't use the broken to exploit them. It uses the yielded to restore others. You weren't forged in fire to live for soft applause. You weren't raised from the pit to live behind the curtain. You weren't healed in the shadows just to hide in the light. You were anointed for assignment. You've been mistaken before, underestimated, overlooked, even forgotten. But none of that was wasted. You sat in the wilderness while others stood on platforms. You served in silence while others built brands. And still, you stayed faithful. Still, you showed up. Still, you believed. Why? Because deep inside, your spirit knew something your circumstances didn't. And now, that knowing is beginning to rise to the surface. Not in loud declarations, not in sudden clarity, but in a quiet boldness that refuses to bow to fear. Because you're not just being guided anymore, you're being trusted. There is a difference. God is entrusting you with something weighty, something eternal, something generational. That's why your life has felt heavier lately, not with burden, but with purpose. That's why even your silence speaks louder than some people's noise. That's why you can walk into a room and shift the atmosphere without saying a word. You've become a carrier of God's glory. But don't be surprised that the final stretch before activation feels like confusion. That ache you feel, that longing without language, that holy discomfort, it's not weakness, it's a signal. You are being stretched, not to break, but to fit the dimensions of your next assignment. You've outgrown the last season and the shoes of your former self. They pinch now. They don't feel right. That's not nostalgia. That's release. Because what's next cannot be built on who you used to be. You see, people thought your delays were denials, but heaven called them development. You weren't being rejected. You were being hidden. Not for punishment, but for preservation. God was protecting the purity of your gift, shielding you from the counterfeit, concealing you from environments that would have celebrated your charisma while starving your character. Because when you're truly called, God will make you wait until your power is greater than your platform. And now, the power is ready. You are like a divine key, custom carved, uniquely shaped. And the lock, the one designed just for you, It's approaching. A moment, an assignment, a person, a place that will need exactly what's inside of you. And when it clicks, it will be effortless. It will be holy. It will be undeniable. And when that moment comes, it will not drain you. It will awaken you. You will feel the fire, not as something burning you up, but as something burning within. You will realize, in that moment, that you were born for this. That all those nights of silence, all those quiet prayers, all those times you almost gave up, they were shaping you into someone hell couldn't stop. It will feel like swimming in waters you were born for. It will feel like standing in flames and realizing you are the fire. This kind of activation doesn't announce itself with fireworks. It comes in whispers, in divine interruptions, in moments that seem small but shift everything. You'll notice it in the timing of a message, a conversation that cracks open your spirit, an invitation you didn't expect but can't ignore, and you'll hear it in the voices of others. I don't know why, but I was thinking of you. I felt led to reach out. You came to mind during prayer. Pay attention. These are divine markers. Heaven is aligning you with what was always yours. You're not waiting for a door to open. You are the door. God will use your obedience to unlock someone's breakthrough, your presence to silence their fear, your yes to activate their calling. You will be the answer to someone's hidden prayer, because you have become what you once asked for. And that's why the warfare increased, right when you thought it was over. Right when peace finally settled, the pressure returned. It was the final test before the release. Like a parachute isn't tested in storage, it's tested mid-air. And that's where you are now, suspended, about to leap. And when God says, now, everything will shift, not with noise, not with spectacle, but with authority. You will know it not because the world changes, but because you have. Going back will feel foreign. Small talk will feel hollow. Old battles won't tempt you anymore. The places that used to hold you can no longer contain you. Your spirit will recognize this moment because heaven wrote it for you. This is not about visibility. It's about victory. Not about being noticed, but about being used for God's glory, not your own. You're not stepping into influence. You're stepping into assignment. So rise, not with fear, but with faith. Step forward, not in striving, but in surrender. Because this is your activation, and you, beloved, are right on time. My dear friend, when someone says to you, I feel like you're the one who can help, understand this is no accident. This is God's divine assignment awakening within you, a clear sign that heaven is activating your purpose. When the Lord calls someone into his plan, the world begins to echo back that truth in unexpected ways. People start to recognize in you what you yourself have yet to fully claim or understand. It's like walking through a vast, quiet field and suddenly sensing the wind shifting, as if the very atmosphere is moving in response to you. These moments of confirmation arrive not by chance, but by divine orchestration. Doors swing open, conversations begin, connections are made, and opportunities fall into place effortlessly. This is because you are stepping into the current of God's design for your life, moving not by your own will, but by the Spirit's leading. You will find yourself doing things that surprise even you. Where you once hesitated, your voice will grow bold and steady. Where self-doubt once held you back, you will stand unwavering. And where you once felt guilty for resting or slowing down, you will embrace peace, understanding that rest is part of God's divine preparation, a sacred recharging of your spirit and calling. As this new season unfolds, You will begin to say no to things that once defined you, not out of bitterness or fear, but because God is enlarging your vision and your destiny. Those small roles and limited dreams served their purpose, but now you are being called to greater heights. God is increasing not just your influence, but your spiritual voltage. Your power, authority, and ability to impact the world around you are expanding. You will carry words that heal, silence that calms storms, and a presence that shifts atmospheres. And the beautiful part is, it won't feel like a performance or something you have to manufacture. It will simply be who you are, because you are no longer auditioning for approval. You are living fully in your God-ordained purpose. Do not expect this activation to always arrive with fanfare or applause. Sometimes it will be a quiet moment, a single conversation, a brief act of kindness that changes the course of someone's life. You may open a door you didn't even realize you were knocking on. These hidden moments matter deeply. Remember Moses, who wasn't activated in the palace, but in the wilderness, with only a burning bush and a whisper from God. Your activation will be much the same, a holy fire ignited within you that purifies and empowers without consuming. As you step into this new anointing, some things will fall away. Certain relationships, old mindsets, or familiar comforts may no longer fit where you're going. Some people won't understand your newfound peace or the quiet confidence you carry. They may misjudge your glow as arrogance, but that's because you weren't made to be understood by everyone. You were made to be used by the Most High. When God's timing arrives, nothing, not doubt, fear, or uncertainty, can stop the plans He has for you. Yes, doubt may still try to creep in, especially when the road ahead seems unclear or overwhelming. But remember, you have walked through shadows too dark to be accidental, shed old identities, and weathered storms that would have broken many. You are being called up, elevated into the fullness of the calling God has set before you. This season is like a seed cracking underground, a necessary breaking that signals new life, new purpose, and new strength ready to emerge. So if your heart feels heavy, your emotions seem more intense, or your spirit feels restless, yet strangely peaceful, know this: you are not alone. You are not off course. You are being positioned with divine precision and love. When this activation bursts forth, it may not look like what you imagined. It may not come with grand announcements or public accolades, but it will feel like your soul's truth finally being embodied, your life aligning with the very purpose God has prepared for you from the beginning. You are no longer waiting, preparing, or hoping. You are becoming fully alive in the calling God has written on your heart. And soon you will see that every trial, every heartbreak, every moment of doubt was actually God's way of shaping the weapon He is now ready to wield through you. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If this message has touched your heart, please like and share it with others who need encouragement. Don't forget to subscribe to stay connected and continue growing in your awakening. And before you go, choose one of the videos on your screen that speaks to you most. A step forward on the amazing path God is leading you on. I'll see you there, walking boldly into all that God has planned for you.